The face that we present to the world can reveal so much about us, but what if the condition of your skin makes you just want to hide away? Acne is a common skin complaint and its impact can be huge. Coping can often mean putting on a brave face.
It was just really uncomfortable, even just trying to put a top over your head. My acne was so bad, the skin was very fragile and it would just break just by touching it, basically.
And bad spots can be so much more than just skin deep.
I'd stopped going to the gym because I was afraid of taking makeup off and people looking at me. It was just a living nightmare, and that's the only way I can describe it.
But do we take it seriously enough? And is there enough mental health support for those affected?
I think in the dermatology community it is absolutely taken seriously. Unfortunately, we are not making all the financial decisions and so on. And I think acne is always on the verge of being seen as a cosmetic condition.
Acne affects at least half the population, men and women at some point in their lives. For some, it may be nothing more than a few teenage spots, but for others, the impact can change their lives. For any bride, their wedding day is one of the most important days of their life. Rachel Brown was no different.
To have the dress, to have the skin, you know, it was really important. To some people that might be difficult to understand. It wasn't just spots and bad skin, it was bad.
Despite having good skin as a teenager, Rachel developed acne in her early 20s. It came as a shock.
It came all at once. There wasn't a sort of a slow... I think I just woke up one day. It'd start with, you'd feel it into the skin and it'd be huge lumps, and then you think one was disappearing, another one would come up, or multiple. So I kind of just woke up one morning, you know, as silly as that sounds, I woke up one morning and it was there. As time went on, I thought, this is something serious, this isn't going away, and didn't know what to do.
Wearing lots of makeup was the only way Rachel felt she could cope.
When my skin started getting really bad, I'd have to have a set time when I get ready, which would probably take, you know, an hour and a half of just trying to cover up bad skin. I spent hours experimenting with other products that perhaps people have said is good for acne. Even just popping to the shop was difficult because you'd have to have half an hour just to cover up your skin then.
And how did it affect you?
Badly. I'd stop doing things, I'd make excuses for not wanting to go out. I'd call in sick to work if it was really bad. I'd stop going to the gym because I was afraid of taking makeup off and people looking at me. It was just a living nightmare, and that's the only way I can describe it. When you try and talk to people about how your skin is affecting you, for those that haven't been affected, it's hard to understand. You know, it's tricky to talk about without getting really emotional about it. You just feel lost, and it isolates you sometimes as well, because you don't want to go out, you don't want to do anything, you cancel plans, you stop going to things, you become withdrawn from people. It's not just a spot, it's people's lives, and it does affect you deeply.
Rachel's mum was always there for her, but with a wedding to plan and new home to set up, she knew she had to take action.
I wasted a lot of money and a lot of time on just trying to find products that would make it go away. I tried different soaps, I'd watch TV and see all these brands. I thought, right, I need to try that. This month I'll try this product. I've heard this foundation's good for acne, and I've spent so much money on that, and you know, unfortunately none of them were working. I needed something stronger, and I didn't realise that.
Acne is well understood by health professionals, but there are a lot of myths circulating about it. It's got nothing to do with poor hygiene. It isn't caused by a poor diet. And wearing makeup won't make it worse.
I think in the dermatology community, it is absolutely taken seriously. You know, as all of us who are trained as dermatologists, we all know quite a lot about acne, about all the approaches to managing it. Unfortunately, we are not making all the financial decisions and so on. And I think acne is always on the verge of being seen as a cosmetic condition.
Sinead Rowlands was 16 and at school when she had an outbreak of severe acne. Her friends were there for her, but it made life very difficult.
Do you remember me when I was like this? When I had really bad acne?
I don't really remember it that much, but like I do remember that you weren't in like school pictures and stuff like that because of it.
It was just really uncomfortable, even just trying to put a top over your head. My acne was so bad, the skin was very fragile and it would just break just by touching it basically. So trying to towel dry my face then would just, I just remember being, I think that was one of my most upsetting times, was just coming out of the shower every time and it just breaking and just, I'd be standing there like, oh. If it wasn't for my mum, I wouldn't have any pictures from the time because I was very frustrated every time Mum tried to take a picture of me, but because I obviously just didn't want to have to think back to the time. But now I'm really glad she had, because I don't think me or anyone else would have remembered how bad it was if she hadn't taken those pictures.
It was bad, it was just that we were just so used to seeing it because you made it so normal.
Yeah.
Like you didn't make a big deal out of it ever. It was just, that was just how you were at the time.
But I think that was a lot down to like you guys as well.
We know that in adolescence people are, you know, there's a real need for a sense of belonging to your peer group and connection. And so if you have something that makes you look different, that's going to have quite an impact on you. It makes the existing challenges of adolescence even more strong, really. It can really shape the way that you think about yourself. You know, if you develop beliefs that actually you don't belong, or that you're not the same as other people, and other people find you unattractive. And of course that really can stymie what you want to get out of life.
When you're 15 or 16, that can be quite a difficult age, can't it, with friends and those kinds of relationships. So how did you manage?
If friends in school brought a phone out to take a picture, I would really get anxious and just feel like I don't want to be in it. And I'd avoid mirrors. I just didn't want to be reminded about it. It could have been a lot worse if I was in a stage where I was going to university and I was meeting new people, because obviously that's the first thing they're going to see. They might judge me straight away. But luckily, because I was just in a stage where I'd made my foundation of friends, they were there for me.
Sinead was lucky. Her acne only lasted for a short time. She's now studying psychology at Bangor University, and she has confidence to face the world.
It sounds silly, but I'm quite glad that I've been through it, because I can empathise with other people now. Even just having those pictures now, if I'm having a small breakout, I'm not worried about it, because I know I've been through a lot worse. I still do have scarring, but I just think considering how severe it was at the time, I think I'm very lucky of how it has turned out.
Getting help for severe acne on the NHS takes time. In Wales, patients are meant to be seen by a dermatologist within 6 months. Some wait longer. In March this year, nearly 400 people here had been waiting for more than 9 months. For Rachel, with the deadline of her wedding, that was too long, and she decided to pay for treatment.
We started wedding planning when we got engaged, and always at the back of my mind was how am I going to tackle my skin? And I know this sounds extreme, but sorting out my skin in time for the wedding was probably next to have I got the right dress, because you know you pay lots of money for photographers, videographers, and the one thing I didn't want to happen was that, you know, we pay all this money and I look back and I don't want to look at any photos because I can't bear to look at myself with bad skin.
Oh, hi Rachel, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Have a seat and Dr. Gonzalez will be with you shortly. Okay, all right?
Yeah.
And just said, look, you know, I'm getting married in April. Please help me. And they said, yeah, you know, come in, we'll see what we can do. And I think I burst out in tears on my first consultation with them, just because I'd reached boiling point by then. I'd run out of options, or I felt I'd run out of options. I didn't know what to do. And then walking into a clinic where they say, yes, we can help you, I just felt like this huge relief. And I thought, oh gosh, yeah, my wedding's going to be fine after all.
Rachel did her research and then chose this clinic in Cardiff to see if they could help.
The main motivation for going privately is time. People want their treatment quickly, and unfortunately the NHS has, because of limited resources, has to prioritise conditions that are going to be treated. Skin cancer, you know, you will always be seen quickly for obvious reasons. Something like acne, which obviously is not life-threatening, there may be a longer wait.